we're ranking the top 10 best 80s action stars. Welcome to another episode of Talk Talk Punch. Thank you so much to both our audio podcast and our YouTube viewers for joining us, audio podcast listeners. Not just the podcast. We do the podcast. We're thanking you. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan.
Hey.
And the James Bond of this MI6, Charlie Hickman.
Too kind, sir. Too kind. Good to see you.
If you like what you hear and you want, for some reason, more of us, we do have a Patreon where you can get exclusive content about topics you won't see on this main channel. For example, we just recorded one where we talked about Dylan and I seeing Last Voyage of the Demeter. Charlie hasn't seen it. Charlie didn't even existed, but Dylan and I watched it. So we talked a little bit about that.
Movies.
So if you're interested, check out the Patreon. There's details in the information down below. And if you haven't already, we'd love it if you subscribed and hit that notification bell so you can come back here every Wednesday to hang out, have some fun, because we like the 80s. We like those 80s action movies. We like those 80s action stars. We said, you know what? Let's rank them. So, we gathered some. We think we came up with a pretty good list. It's going to be difficult to rate, I think. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead. Jump on over. That's not. Hold on.
Now, there's going to be some names missing here, some big names that you might expect to be there, but part of that is because we wanted to have actors that were in more than one 80s action film. There are a few big name actors that we'll talk about that just missed the cut because they only did like one.
Yeah, when we showed Dylan this, he said, how did you not have Bruce Willis? And then we said, well, he really had only done Die Hard. Bruce Willis, famous for action. And if we were doing an all-time list, probably be way up there. But hadn't done his action. He was still doing too many moonlightings.
Hey, that was all action, baby.
True. That's true.
Yeah, Steven Seagal, only one 80s movie. That surprised me.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Not a 90s. Tom Cruise really just has the one, just Top Gun, unless you count Rain Man.
Wesley Snipes wasn't in like anything.
Yeah. He was in the Michael Jackson video Bad, but
yeah.
There was some action. Just saying.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been here for one of our rankings before, we're just going to list these 10 guys. I'll go ahead and read them out for our audio listeners, and then we'll take them, we'll shuffle them all out. They'll come out one at a time, rank them. Just because they fall into one place, they're locked there, they'll probably move around. So what we have for our list this week, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eddie Murphy, Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kurt Russell, Harrison Ford, Clint Eastwood, Dolph Lundgren, and Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Shuffle. Here we go. That easy. Drop the file.
Wow. All right. We're starting right in the fire.
Whew. Okay. Starting off big with Sylvester Stallone. Where does Sylvester Stallone fall for you?
I cannot wait to argue with you guys about the top two, but I got to say top two for sure. So
yeah.
Number two.
What?
Number two.
Oh, are we starting the argument already? Why don't we just put them in one of those places and then we'll argue about it when the time comes?
Okay, let's put him at 2.
We'll see.
I know. Kurt Russell is next. Now, some great movies. Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China. The Thing. Would you count The Thing, or would you count that more as like a horror?
That's a horror. Have you
horror.
seen that, bro? That's a
Well, yes, I've seen it. But there's
You haven't seen
action.
it.
There's action parts of it.
You mean when like he throws the dynamite, or when somebody pulls the trigger of a gun, or
He had to fly a helicopter.
that's an action scene? He had to fly a helicopter. Oh, bro.
I'm gonna
He
say
doesn't really do much in Big Trouble in Little China, which is why he's so iconic in it. because he literally, I think he kills one person on accident.
He
Oh,
catches
he
the
killed
knife.
main guy.
He catches the knife and throws it.
And Kurt Russell, by the way, has one of the distinctions of being in a movie with two different people that will appear on this list. One of them is the man that's already on the screen there with the 1989 classic Tango.
Tango.
Cash. Cash and Tango. Everywhere I look, it's Tango and cash.
Also, Kurt
Tequila,
Russell.
Tequila Sunrise.
Kurt Russell is just really cool. He is so
really
cool. I mean, even like I put Snake Plissken up here as the picture that we're using. Snake Plissken is so cool. Yes, we were talking that maybe the movie's a little slow, but the character. I'm gonna say number 3.
The whole time he's like, "Call me Snake, and at the very end he's like, "Call me Plissken, change your mind."
So I'm gonna throw out number 3.
You're gonna throw him where?
3.
3?
Yeah.
3? I am shocked that I'm letting you put him above 6. Shocked.
What? No.
Charlie, where would you put him?
He's Charlie's
man,
number 1.
It's tough.
Would not be
He
in
was my number 1 because of the eye patch. Also, overboard nonstop action with him and Goldie Hawn. I probably maybe like start him at that 5 range just to see what happened.
Dylan, do you not like Kurt Russell? Why is he so low for you?
I think Kurt Russell is great. I just wouldn't put him in my top 5.
I'm not saying that he would stay at 3. He would probably get bumped down some.
There is no way I would have put him at 3. I'm shocked that I'm not arguing to make him 6. Only 6. I think he's really good. I just don't think, when I think action star, I just do not think Kurt Russell. It's not because he can't do it. It's just that in the 80s, he didn't do it a lot. He did what, 3 action movies?
Next up, we'll see. We'll see where he finds. All right, Clint Eastwood.
Now, he should be top 5. He had a whole bunch of action movies in the 80s.
Sudden Impact.
What?
Sudden Impact.
Right? Sudden Impact. Yep.
They had the Dirty Harry. Not all like the later Dirty Harrys. Because those started in
Deadpool was there. Not to be confused with Marvel's Deadpool. But.
You know, that's actually where Marvel's Deadpool got the name.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you do the Outlaw Josie Wales in the 80s? Yeah.
Pale Rider.
Pale Rider.
Pale Rider
was 80s.
Tightrope. Done a lot. Now, see, he could be top 3. I'd put him at 3.
I'd put him at 6.
Why? He's done at least twice as many action movies as Kurt Russell has ever done in his life.
He's not as cool as Kurt Russell.
He's not as cool. He's given people his glare, and people have dropped dead from it, bro. Kurt Russell has done that, and then people have started to laugh. It's a comedy.
Snake Plissken? Are you kidding me?
Snake Plissken versus Dirty Harry is no comparison right there.
Yeah, Plissken would wipe the floor with
versus Dirty Harry would have shot his other eyeball out, killing him completely. He'd have no eyeballs left.
Is there okay? So Dylan, I think you're the biggest Clint fan in the pod here. I'm having trouble remembering my Dirty Harry. Is there a characteristic about him that stands out other than like he's kind of a grumpy, I don't play by the rules,
go ahead,
kind of one man army cop who likes to shoot his gun, or is there like more to him than that, or is he kind of like a generic?
Definitely. For some reason, he always breaks the rules, even though the rules don't. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense of the rules. He's like, I see a man, running after a woman, and with a bloody knife, I shoot the man. I'm like, that seems fair to me. I'm like, why would anybody question that? All the time, they're like, Harry, you're Callahan, you're not playing by the rules. He's like, they're these criminals. I killed them. He literally has zero problem torturing and killing the bad guys, even though he's a cop. And then he throws his badge away, only to come back in the next Dirty Harry movie completely as if he never threw that badge away at all. It came back to him like a boomerang. It was beautiful. That's how much. That's it right there. He has boomerang badge. And somehow in the second one, he started like sleeping around, even though for some reason, like I think a criminal killed his wife.
I think there's a movie there, Boomerang Badge, like a new Paul Hogan Australian cop film. Welcome to Boomerang Badge. How come we don't have Paul Hogan on this list? Ooh, the
Yeah,
I don't
Dundee.
know.
That's not a knife.
Crocodile Dundee, you can't get. He kills a crocodile. Nobody does that, bro. Nobody on this list has killed a crocodile except maybe Schwarzenegger in Eraser.
All right, where are we
Yeah,
putting Clint
this
Eastwood?
is tough for me. I think the characters that Kurt Russell has are more iconic. In the year 2024, Snake Plissken, Jack Burton. I mean, those are like really, iconic characters. And then Dirty Harry is like kind of like just feels like that's been parodied so much at this point that it doesn't feel very like unique anymore. But also,
The other
volume wise, you got to give it to Clint. Did a lot of things. Yeah, Outlaw Josie Wales. What year are you seeing that in? Because I don't think that was in the 80s.
No, not.
76. 76.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well, we're just counting 80s.
But he was like in Heartbreak Ridge and,
Oh,
Pale Rider.
Ridge.
Son, the Deadpool with a young Jim Carrey playing an Axl Rose type rock and roll singer.
He still was over the top. He couldn't give one line straight the whole time. He's like, I'm ODing or something. I don't know.
All right, where are we putting Clint Eastwood? Where are we putting him? Spend enough time talking about it.
All right.
Go on.
Charlie, I
go
said
ahead.
6.
Go ahead, Brody.
Dylan said 3.
Then let's put him 4 or 5 then, and we'll call it a balance.
Put him at 4 now.
I mean, you're sweet, Brody, pretending like Dylan and I have any control here because you're the only one who can actually put things in place.
It's true. If I want to hijack, I can. But I'm a team player. Unlike Dirty Harry.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Harrison Ford. Oh,
this is hard.
So we have Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We have Indiana Jones, Raiders, and Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom.
We have
all
Witness.
three.
Wait a minute. The third one was in '89, right?
Yeah, which is still the 80s.
It was. All 3 of them were 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, all three 80s.
For some reason I was thinking that was
It's in Mosquito Coast, which like a little jungle thriller type thing, or was it jungle? Yeah, jungle, right? Yeah.
I mean,
that's not Blade Runner. Did we talk about Blade Runner? Is that an action movie?
Blade Runner.
Is there a lot of action in that? Because I would more classify that as a drama. And have you tried watching that recently?
I have, actually. I enjoyed it.
It's officially classified. I know we all love going to IMDb for our official classifications, but as an action drama sci-fi. So,
action first.
For whatever that's worth. But I mean, like, you talk about iconic characters. I mean, two Han Solo movies and 3 Indiana Jones movies. I don't know, man. Maybe we need to rethink our top 2 here.
I was actually just thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh man, would he be over Sylvester Stallone? I mean, I know that Sylvester Stallone like has the action movie, like the big guns, bow and arrows with Rambo. He has Rockies in there. This one's really
Do we ding
tough.
Harrison Ford? Do we ding him because all of his, like literally all of his action movies in the 80s are like subgenres of a larger genre, like the adventure genre, the sci-fi genre, the
sport
drama.
Do we just drop him at 3 for right?
Let's drop it.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If I said, what are your favorite action movies of all time? Would you think Star Wars?
No. That, to me, that's like sci-fi adventure.
Do you think Indiana Jones? Like, does that come to, like, if I say, what are your top 3 action movies of all time? Are you thinking Indiana Jones, or does that feel like a different category?
That's an adventure. And you like the action and adventure are really close, but to me, they seem more adventure action. But he's doing action set pieces. He's fighting, he's shooting, he's jumping and swinging
Whipping.
and whipping.
Yeah.
Occasionally he shoots a guy that's got like a sword or something.
But then you think about like
He put like a
Sylvester
dude's head into a
Stallone.
freaking propeller, man.
A big guy too.
But then Stallone with Rambo, and especially like the sequels, and then Cobra, and
Oh, bruh,
Yeah.
like
yes.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
number 3.
comfortable. Maybe maybe 3. That's feels good. Does that feel good to you, Dylan?
Yeah, it feels fine.
All I know is that if Sylvester Stallone or Arnold
Um,
Schwarzenegger had come face to face with Hitler in Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, they would have squished him
they
instead of
just
having him
would.
sign a book. Indiana Jones could change the world, and he's like, "Oh, here's my book."
All right, next we have Dolph Lundgren,
Ah,
He-Man
Dolph.
himself, and the Punisher. Remember, he did the Punisher.
He did do the Punisher,
He did do
and Rocky 4, obviously, and A View to
Universal
Kill.
Soldier.
A View to a Kill. He was in that. That's right.
Uh,
Uh,
big fans of Red Scorpion, right? Both of you guys? Red Scorpion? Red Scorpion?
I've seen that.
Seen that one?
I think I have.
Have you seen that one, Charlie?
Mm.
Red Scorpion?
Oh, come on, everyone's seen Red Scorpion.
Good point.
So I think that
You
Dolph.
hadn't thought about it like that, had you?
I
Had
think
not.
that Dolph definitely feels like an action star. Right? He kind of fits into that area where like he had the big muscles, he doing big action fights and things like that. Uh, this is a hard list. This is this is harder than I thought it would. Like we've filled up the top 5. Now we have to like start shifting things down or start filling out the bottom. I don't know. Where do we put Dolph? Tudong? Where do you put Dolph?
um. hmm. Wow. He maximum potential Red Scorpion, RPG 2, Punisher, and that's it. I do not. I mean, I put him pretty low. I'd put him like maybe 8 or 9.
7? 7 or 8?
Sure.
He feels like an action movie, but like
Yeah, it's true. But
not
if we're
as
going by his
iconic.
80s thing, it's not looking good. I mean, he's got Rocky. Yeah, he was in A View to a Kill. He was He-Man, and that's kind of it. And
Yeah.
Punisher. That's definitely it, because he did that in '89 also. So his list of, I'm not saying that of all time, but I mean, in the '80s, it's a little bit sparse, and they are not exactly. I mean, he certainly
Yeah,
was starred in 1, 2, maybe.
Is this your favorite film Punisher, though?
No, no way. No.
No.
Film Punisher?
Film?
You,
Not even.
yeah,
Not even.
is it movie? Not TV show, because I'm saying movie. Is it this?
No.
Is it the Thomas Jane, or is it the one that came after Thomas Jane? I mean, this is a low. We're talking a low bar here. Punisher.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No, he's
If I
probably
thought-
like my least favorite.
What? Least favorite? Okay, well, that's a whole nother podcast. We'll have to have an argument about that. Well, if you hate his Punisher, then there really is nothing really to keep him anywhere other than maybe like 8 or 9. So let's drop him there and then be done with it.
Depending on it.
He never even wore the skull, and that was so. I remember watching that as a kid. Like, was
What are they
that the
doing?
same? Is it the same like Marvel? Like wasn't even
Yeah.
sure.
I thought that too, actually. You put him at 8, unbelievable.
He can move. All right, next we have Chuck Norris, the legendary
Little Chucky Norris. Before he was a meme, he was an action star.
Missing in Action, Delta Force.
That is a movie.
I think the
Have you
Delta
seen
Force.
those?
Both of those.
Delta Force was
Yeah, Delta Force. The first one was.
Code of Silence, Invasion USA. Now, okay,
I did not see a lot of these.
Okay, so Chuck Norris's movies, I don't think were like the great iconic action. Chuck Norris is awesome, but the movies, I remember I watched like Delta Force. They weren't great, even as a kid. Jeez.
You didn't like Lone Wolf McQuade or Missing in Action?
I think
I
I
haven't
saw
seen
Missing
either.
in Action.
You what?
I think I saw Missing in Action, and I know I saw Delta.
You didn't see The Octagon? They did in 1980, or An Eye for an Eye.
No.
Silent
Yeah.
Rage, because
If we're just talking quantity, Chucky's up on the top, but if we're talking quality, he might be my number 10. So,
Oh, number 10. Oof.
well, there's not a single one of those movies that I ever care to watch ever again. And
you watch any of them ever?
I think as a kid, I saw some of like the Delta Force or the Missing in Actions. I've definitely seen him on screen at some
Yeah.
point, but but I also get those movies confused. Like, was it like the American Ninja Warrior or whatever? Not the reality show, but the action movies.
I only remember one
Was it?
part
Were they
in
Ninja?
the
Was this
Missing in
American
Action,
Warrior?
and
I
that's
don't know.
when they strap him up, and his hands are like tied, and they lift it so that he's standing barely on his toes. And if he lowers down, if he falls down, like a shotgun goes off, and there's like a kid there, and they hold him up there for like hours. Like they even like go up to try and push him down, and like he headbutts the guy, and he's like ah, and then finally like they like hit him a couple of times, and finally he's just like, and the kid's like no, and he's like oh what? He comes back up. Turns out I guess the gun wasn't loaded, so he did all that for nothing.
All right, I'm gonna drop Chuck at number 9.
Wow,
All right.
very nice.
It may move. We'll see. I want to give him a chance. It is Chuck Norris. It's like, oh, it's Chuck Norris. I hate to drop him at 10
Chuck.
when there's nobody at 9 to just be like, yeah, your number.
Little Chucky Norris.
Let's give him a chance. All right, next we have Eddie Murphy.
He had an 80s career. 48 Hours obviously was his big breakthrough role. Beverly Hills Cop. We get The Golden Child. We get Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Golden Child. That was great. He's got to be 6, if nothing else. If not
Harlem
5.
Nights, which was fun. You could call that an action film.
Was that 90? I
89.
thought that was 90.
Yeah, 89. Yeah.
89.
Squeaking in there.
He had
Underrated.
a huge fist fight with Della Reese, and anybody who does that's got to be an action person.
Yeah. Hey, Trading Places. There was some good action in that. They're on a train. There was a freaking gorilla scene in that. And he only got the Beverly Hills Cop role because Sylvester Stallone got his hands on the script and was like, "All right, I'm gonna make this into a very serious movie." And then they're like, "But it's supposed to be a comedy," and he's like, "Then I don't want to do it." And so then it ended up with Eddie Murphy. So
I don't want to do it. I like that. That's
I don't want to do it. Then I'll just wait to do. Don't Stop at My Mama shoot in the 90s. Forget about it.
Alone.
So
What do you guys think? 6?
for
He's gotta be
me,
6.
I'm thinking 6.
Some could say he's done more action than Kurt Russell in the 80s.
But he's not as cool as Kurt Russell.
Axel F was pretty cool, man.
He's cool.
Golden Child was great.
Snake
He was really
Plissken.
And Quick was cool. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Oh, Quick
Eddie
was
Eddie
really
in the 80s. Eddie in the 80s was like the epitome of cool.
true.
But I mean that doesn't mean that. But we're talking movies, not necessarily like we can make a list of cool
Sure.
another time. But
So what are we saying?
don't know.
6?
6, if not 5.
Or 4 even.
Oh,
I gotta admit, I got a little bit of like I'll try not to let it influence the list too much, but I got a little bit of like anti Clint Eastwood bias working on my.
From what?
I don't know. He kind of bugs me a little bit. Why is he so grumpy? Why is he looks so grumpy in every picture of him? What's he got to be so angry about all the time?
Harrison Ford is so much more grumpy. He's
He'd
always
be so much prettier if he smiled. Harrison Ford is grumpy like with a wink and a smile. Like he's like, "Hey, I'm Harrison Ford, and everything's kind of crappy." And Clint's like, "Hey, What, you want me to come outside and with the sunshine or birds? I'm gonna shoot them all in the face. Why are you chirping at me, birds? I'm very unhappy. Like, come on, life's hard for me. I make a lot of money. I'm a very powerful man. Come on, I'm grumpy all the time. He's like one of the like this is what happens like if one of the balcony Muppets gets a gun and gets to go into movies. I'm gonna shoot them all. Anyway, sorry for all the Clint fans that are watching.
Sorry to
But
Clint
come on,
himself.
Eddie Murphy's so great. He's so cool.
True, he should be number 5. Road.
So, and move Kurt up to 4.
Poor Brody. All he wants is Kurt Russell top 5. All right, just put Arnold Schwarzenegger number 1 so we can argue about this in a minute.
Yeah.
Arnold
I don't want this to turn
Schwarzenegger.
into the Tom list where we spent 20 minutes talking about Thomas Hayden Church versus Thomas Jane. We gotta argue the big boys here.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh no,
number 1.
We got a wrench in the works here. Where are we putting
Jean-Claude Van Damme. We got
Jean-Claude Van
Kickboxer.
Damme.
We got Bloodsport. We got Cyborg.
And that's about it. That's really it.
Those are all more than what Dolph has done. Not only that, but he was, I know it's not in the 80s, but he was also in Universal Soldier as the star, and he kills Dolph Lundgren in it. Pushes him down. He loses somehow.
Yeah, I think I put Jean-Claude above Dolph because I think if you're saying that Dolph's most iconic role is a role in a movie where he's not even the star, Rocky IV, like Von Drago is a very memorable character, but he's not the main guy. Like Bloodsport, man, that's a good movie. That's got legs. Kumite. I'm thinking about showing that to the kids soon.
And then there's Kickboxer.
Well, they liked Pokemon when they were younger, and then they got into Beyblades, and it's all very tournament based, like anime like stuff, where they're battling and stuff. So I thought, why not? Let's maybe I might have to edit some scenes here, but why not do a little blood sport at some point?
It is rated R.
Tournament action.
Go on, Enter the Dragon first. That's the mother of all martial art movies with tournaments in it. Even though it doesn't whole thing. Oh, have you ever seen Enter the Dragon?
Yes, I own it.
Really?
Yes.
If you can't pull it out and produce it in the next 2 seconds, I don't believe you.
I can't.
All right, yeah, liar. All right, I vote Jean-Claude. I vote him 7. What do you guys think?
Second it.
I was thinking
higher.
I was thinking higher. Thinking higher.
He only did 3 movies. And we watched, and let's be fair, we watched Kickboxer. Links below. That is not a good movie.
No. How did it get so many views?
I mean, that was. I would think it was fine at the time when I watched it, but man, that was a tough rewatch.
Yeah. We watched. I'll put a link up top. Mark it.
I mean, if we're saying his third movie is Cyborg, where a martial artist hunts a killer in a plague-infested urban dump of the future, and none of us have even seen it, then that's probably not like a good this is my top 3. If we're including the 90s, then obviously he jumps pretty high up on this list. But
that's true.
He made a lot of good movies in the early 90s,
stuff like that,
like Lionheart, Death Warrant, Double Impact, Universal. Like from 90 to 92, he pops off like 5 in a row that are like.
Street Fighter.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
All right. And last up, we have Mel Gibson. So Mel Gibson was doing.
Really should be at number 5. Road.
What?
Really? I said, who should really be at number 5? Yeah.
Yeah, he should probably be in the top.
Because of the river or
the Mad Max.
Oh, Mad Max. Okay.
Mad Max,
Max
Road Warrior,
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Yeah, so he gets the two Mad Max movies and two Lethal Weapons and 1 Tequila Sunrise.
Nice.
With the aforementioned Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And some movies that I haven't seen. I don't recognize The Bounty. You guys know that?
Yeah, that's when he was
historical drama
Christian with Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
What about the
that.
year of living dangerously?
With Sigourney Weaver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Political turmoil and unrest.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he wasn't good at that. Was he
Yeah.
still doing like trying to do the American accent with the Australian accent, like
Oh,
bleeding through all the
yeah.
time? That was fun. And like in
All the
Lethal Weapon.
love it in Lethal Weapon 2 when he's talking to the wife about how his daughter or his wife gets killed. He's talking to Murtaugh's wife, talking about that, and he's all like, "Oh, I guess I just was gonna go home alone, right over here." And I'm like, "Oh wow, Mel, what take were you doing, man?"
And that was the best take because they used it. I mean, like how many times I wonder if they tried
They were like, a
coach him
little
up
less
on that.
Australian.
A little less Australian. They could just let him be Australian. Let him be Australian.
You were born in New York, sir. You were there until you were 6. Do a New York accent, even though you're from California in this.
They should have done the whole Lethal Weapon. Hey, it's me, Riggs over here. Forget about it. I'm pretty sad over here. I live by myself at the beach. Oh, forget about it.
Each, hey,
Um,
All right,
we
so
putting him four, bro. Does that? I see you've parted the seas for him.
well, I'm just this is my thought, but I'm not dropping him there yet. You know, we can have some discussion over this. I'm thinking 4.
okay. I could almost see him as 3, but if you want to put him as 4, that makes sense. Okay.
Well,
I'm good. I'm good with 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like Harrison at 3 though,
kind of like Harrison,
just
and
because of the
yes,
picture.
he's got, you know, his movies kind of branch a lot of different things, but he still did a lot of action. A lot of action.
True. True.
Yeah. Should we move Eddie Murphy to 6 and Kurt Russell down to 7?
Yeah.
What?
Didn't he do more action movies than Kurt in the 80s? Because
Definitely.
it kind of seemed like he did.
I don't
I
agree.
feel like every time.
Don't
Maybe
agree.
you don't agree. You can't argue with the quantity. I mean,
Maybe Van Damme did more action than Kurt as well. Maybe
Kurt
toss him
Russell-
to 8. Toss him
Kurt
to 8.
Russell, I still think should be number.
all right. Well, you then put him at 5. Just take some initiative here, bro.
I'm a team player. This is the Talk Punch rankings, not the Brody ranking. Want the Brody rankings? Go to Instagram.
I do want the Brody
What?
rankings.
Instagram. You want the
All right,
2
look.
gun rank? You go to
Yeah.
Instagram.
Dylan, that means you need to post the.
Hey, look, 3 to 10, whatever. If you guys are happy, I'm happy. But we got to talk about Arnold versus Sly because I think there's an argument to be made here. So, this is how it ended up. Is this how you guys both have it in your personal rankings?
Yes. To me,
Yeah.
Arnold goes above Sylvester. Arnold is the 80s action star. Like he owned the 80s action. Predator, Terminator, like Conan the Barbarian, like
Yeah. Conan the Destroyer. Conan the Destroyer was good. Good thing. He was good in it. A lot of action. Swords. Come on, bro. Sword.
he's great in everything. Commando?
Wow.
Oh,
I
Commando?
didn't say
Come
that.
on. Like
Commando?
All right,
Commando is like the 80s action movie. Right? Like it's
All right.
just
So what's Schwarzenegger's best? So best Schwarzenegger 80s action film. Predator?
Predator.
Predator.
Okay, what's better? Dylan, you answer this, not Brody. Predator or Rocky 4?
Okay, now which gets you more pumped up or which is technically a better actual movie or actually has more
Better actual movie.
I'd have to go with Predator. I mean, like Rocky
Better
4 has a
movie?
lot of montages.
But
It
Rocky
has
3 or Rocky 4? Rank what how do you rank 3 above 4?
We
That's a
aren't having
really
this
good one.
conversation right now. We're not ranking the Rockies.
Oh, that's tough.
That's
I
a
mean, I
whole-
know
that's a
that
whole
lot of people
episode.
like 3 over 4, but I mean 4 is really iconic. But I mean, like,
Stop. That's giving
I
away
gotta look at
content. That's a whole episode. Stop it. Stop it.
Sorry.
That's a whole
We-
episode that we could do. Don't give it away.
We get Rocky and Rambo in the 80s. Rocky and Rambo. And then he just, for fun, throws in the greatest one-liner of all time in the movie Cobra, where the guy's threatening to blow up a grocery store. Sylvester Stallone's got a toothpick in his mouth, his like mirrored sunglasses, and he says, "Go ahead. I don't shop here." Classic. Arnold wishes on his best day he could deliver a line so good. Yeah, I'll do the split. No.
So
Go ahead. I don't shop here.
No, Arnold had, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Come on. That is.
And then he does
amazing.
it. Really. He just
is amazing. That one, I'll admit, I haven't seen. I will say this: in Stallone's, he did like a recent coffee or something like that, and he concedes that Schwarzenegger is the better action star. Now, it didn't say 80s action star, but he did say action star. I'll be very honest. Like, you could convince me.
he's saying to dig at Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think he's saying, "Oh, I'm the better actor. I'm the better filming." He's like Rocky that won Oscars. Arnold's out here.
He didn't do those.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Look, I think I would have Arnold number 1 too. I didn't want to argue. Just wanted to argue.
Okay. See, I thought so.
all right. Well, and
Over the
yeah,
top.
I think Arnold's
Come on,
number
guys.
1. We had little technical difficulties. You guys were getting a little choppy there. So Arnold's number 1 because I control the cursor. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me too.
All right. Well, that's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up then. Charlie, are you able to close us out? Oh, wait, no, I gotta list it. I didn't list the full thing.
I thought you were about to list it.
Sorry. Okay, so at number 10, we have Chuck Norris. At number 9, we have Dolph Lundgren. At number 8, we have Jean-Claude Van Damme. At number 7, we have Kurt Russell. I looked at the picture. Just call him Snake.
Whatever his name is. Whole eye patch.
At number 6, we have Eddie Murphy. At number 5, we have Clint Eastwood. At number 4, we have Mel Gibson. At number 3, we have Harrison Ford. At number 2, we have Sylvester Stallone. And at number 1, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger. Honestly, looking at these characters while doing that, some of these characters are like so iconic that I have to like remember the actor's name because I'm looking at the character. I almost did it again with Harrison Ford. I almost said that number 3, Indiana Jones. No, Harrison Ford. So there you go. There is the Talk Punch top 10 80s action stars / hero.
Nice.
Catchy.
All right.
All right. So thank you for joining us. As always, we invite you to let us know your top 10, your favorites, some of your favorites.
All right, looks like we're getting a little choppiness from Charlie. So go ahead and click on the links below for some more videos. Click on the subscribe button below so you can come back here every Wednesday. We will see you guys later. Bye.